The scene opens with Oscar sitting on an old, worn-out couch. The room is dimly lit, the walls bare. A single window shows a cloudy, gray day. Oscar stares blankly at a half-empty bottle of whiskey on the table in front of him. I didn't ask for this. I didn't ask for any of it. I woke up one morning, and everything was gone. My wife, my family, my purpose. Just gone. It's been 6 months since the divorce. I should have been over it by now, right? But I don't know. I just exist. No job. No kids. No friends. It's like I'm invisible. I've been applying everywhere, sending out resumes like it's a damn full-time job. But nothing. The phone never rings. The inbox is empty. I wake up, get dressed, and I go through the motions. Some days, I feel like I'm just waiting for something to change. Waiting for something, anything. Oscar glances at the clock. It's 11:30 a.m. He sighs and picks up his phone. Oscar scrolls through job listings on his phone. He pauses on an ad for a fire lookout. The text is simple, looking for a fire lookout. No experience necessary. Must be willing to work in remote, isolated locations. Apply now. His thumb hovers over the apply button. This was different. A fire lookout. I'd never even thought about something like this before. But maybe that's what I need. A drastic change. Something that can get me away from everything. The job description was vague, but it felt like a sign. So, I applied. Why not? What do I have to lose? Oscar clicks the apply button and waits for the confirmation screen. A moment later, his phone rings. He answers it, unsure of what to expect. Oscar. Hello? Oscar? Yeah, this is Mark. You applied for the fire lookout job, right? Oscar. Yeah. I did. Mark. Well, good news. You're hired. Pack your bags, because you're leaving today. Oscar. Today? But, the job wasn't supposed to start for another week. Mark. Yeah, well, we've got an opening now. You're the guy we've been waiting for. You'll be living at the lookout tower for 2 months. The first shift starts tomorrow. Directions are in your email. Don't waste any time. It's isolated, so make sure you're prepared. Oscar, well. Guess I really don't have anything left to lose. Oscar packs a small bag, throws in a few clothes, and grabs a pair of hiking boots. The apartment feels colder now, emptier, as if his things are already fading away. He looks around one last time, the silence overwhelming him. He slings the bag over his shoulder and heads for the door. I never expected it to happen this fast. But maybe it was exactly what I needed. A job in the middle of nowhere, miles away from everyone. No distractions. No expectations. Just me. Alone with my thoughts. And for the first time in months, it felt like I was making a choice. Oscar exits the apartment and locks the door behind him. The sound of the key turning in the lock is a final, heavy click. Oscar drives through a long stretch of empty highway, the city behind him shrinking into the distance. The radio plays a low, static-laced tune, adding to the eerie quiet. As the road narrows and the trees begin to close in on either side, Oscar glances at the GPS on his phone. The city's a ghost now. I don't miss it. Not really. It's funny how quickly you forget about the noise of people. The bustle of life. The pressure. Once you're away from it, you don't even realize how much it was crushing you. Now it's just me, the open road, and the woods ahead. The unknown. Oscar turns the radio dial, but all he hears is static. He turns it off. The silence outside the car is oppressive, broken only by the sound of the engine. Oscar parks the car in a small, gravel lot at the base of a trail. The woods stretch out before him, vast and untouched. He steps out of the car, feeling the cool breeze on his face as he surveys the hike ahead. 4 hours to the tower. Not bad, right? I mean, it's not like I have anywhere else to be. I've read enough adventure novels to know what it's like, intrepid explorers, braving the wilderness. But this isn't a book. And these woods? They don't feel like the ones in stories. Oscar slings his backpack over his shoulder and starts walking along the path. The trees are thick, their branches swaying above, creating shadows on the trail. He glances over his shoulder once, as if sensing something lurking in the darkened woods. But there's nothing there. The woods are beautiful. But I can't shake the feeling that I'm not supposed to be here. That I'm stepping into something I shouldn't be. I've never been one to believe in ghosts or curses. But out here, it feels like something's watching. Oscar pushes forward, the trail becoming steeper as he continues his hike. Oscar continues along the hiking trail, the path winding through the dense trees. The woods are lush, but a cold, unsettling stillness hangs in the air. The sounds of nature, birds, rustling leaves, are muffled, as if the forest itself is holding its breath. Oscar stops for a moment, wiping the sweat from his brow. His backpack feels heavier now, the weight of isolation pressing down on him. It's strange. The woods are beautiful. In a way, they're everything I wanted. Peaceful. Quiet. Uninterrupted. But the longer I walk, the more the silence wraps around me. It's almost like, it's not real. Like I'm stepping into something that's been forgotten for a reason. Oscar looks up at the towering trees. The sunlight filters through the branches in scattered beams, creating a haunting play of light and shadow on the forest floor. His eyes narrow as he takes in the overwhelming vastness of the wilderness. The trees stretch out in every direction. Endless. All-encompassing. I feel small here. Not the adventurous kind of small, though. The kind that makes you question how you got here. How far is this place really from civilization? He continues walking, the sound of his boots crunching the dirt path the only noise. His pace quickens, a sense of urgency creeping in. As the hike continues, the atmosphere grows more oppressive, the woods darker, the air heavier. First impressions of the lookout tower. After hours of hiking, Oscar finally emerges from the tree line. The lookout tower stands in front of him, towering high above the surrounding trees. It's much larger than he expected, its structure imposing and almost alien against the natural backdrop. The sight of it hits him hard, a chill running down his spine as the reality of his situation sets in. There it is. The tower. It's massive. More like something out of a nightmare than a job opportunity. It stands alone, perched atop its stilts, like a giant sentinel in the middle of nowhere. The wood is weathered, the metal parts rusted and cold, standing in stark contrast to the beauty of the forest. It feels out of place. And yet, it feels like it belongs here. Oscar sets down his backpack and takes a few hesitant steps toward the tower. The tower's sheer size looms over him, and the sound of his footsteps echoes unnervingly in the stillness. I'd seen pictures. I knew it was tall, but it didn't seem this looming. It wasn't supposed to be this alone. I wonder who else has been here before. And more importantly, I wonder why they left. He gazes up at the tower again, his unease growing. The structure seems like it has been standing for decades, forgotten and abandoned by the world. There's no sign of life, no welcoming lights, no smoke rising from a fire. It's just, there. I should have been prepared for this. But nothing can prepare you for this kind of loneliness. For a place this desolate. The beauty of the woods is gone now. It's replaced by something darker. A sense of abandonment. Like it's been waiting for me. Oscar walks toward the base of the tower, his heart pounding. As he approaches the stairs, the wind picks up, the trees swaying in a gentle but unnerving rhythm. A soft creak echoes from the tower as if it's calling to him. Climbing the tower. Oscar reaches the base of the tower and begins to climb the winding metal staircase. Each step is heavy, the sound of his boots ringing out in the silence. As he climbs higher, the trees below begin to look smaller, and the view grows increasingly vast. Each step feels like a countdown. A countdown to, what? I can't shake the feeling that something is waiting for me up there. Something I'm not ready for. He reaches the top of the tower, the wind whipping around him, making the metal structure groan. The view from the top is breathtaking, miles of forest stretching out in all directions. But something about the view feels off. It's too quiet. Too still. I've made it. But for some reason, I don't feel relieved. I feel more exposed. As if the forest can see me now. As if it's watching me. And I can't help but wonder. What's really out there? What's waiting for me? Oscar steps into the small hut at the top of the tower. The interior is sparse but functional. A bed. A small desk with a radio. A few scattered books. Everything feels temporary. As if no one has truly made this place their home. It's just me now. The radio's dead. The tower's cold. And the woods? They're stretching out as far as the eye can see. I've never felt so alone. He sets his backpack down and looks around, the eerie silence pressing in on him. The shadows of the trees below seem to stretch unnaturally, their dark outlines creeping up the walls of the tower. Oscar's first night at the tower. Oscar steps into the small hut at the top of the tower. The walls are bare, the only furnishings a small bed, a desk with a radio, and a few scattered books. The air is cold, and the faint smell of wood lingers in the space. He sets his backpack down on the bed, running his hand along the wooden table, trying to shake off the unease that clings to him. I've been here for hours, but I feel like it's been days. This place is cold. It doesn't feel like a home. It feels like a holding cell. A place to wait. For what, though? Oscar notices a dusty handbook on the table. He picks it up and flips through it, scanning the pages. The first few pages are filled with basic instructions on fire lookout duties, checking for wildfires, maintaining the radio, and general safety procedures. But then he comes across a handwritten page that seems out of place. The rules were strange, even for a place like this. Rules that didn't seem to belong. They were handwritten in messy blue ink, as if written by someone in a hurry, almost frantic. I didn't know what to make of them. I didn't know if I should take them seriously. He reads aloud from the page, the words chilling as they leave his mouth. 1. If you see a woman in the woods with a manic smile on her face, do not approach or draw attention to yourself. Return to the tower immediately. 2. If your radio goes off and it's anyone except your closest tower, don't answer it, no matter what you hear. 3. If you hear a woman cry between the hours of 1 a.m. and 4 a.m., ignore it. He shudders. This has to be some kind of joke. Oscar flips through the rest of the rules, each one more bizarre than the last. But despite the unsettling nature of the list, he chooses to dismiss it. He mutters to himself, chuckling nervously as he sets the handbook down on the table. It's probably a prank. Some weird initiation for new guys. Yeah, just some twisted idea from whoever used to be here. It's nothing. I'll just focus on the job. Keep my head down, get through the summer, and move on. First strange occurrences. Night falls, and Oscar settles into the small bed, the sheets cold against his skin. The wind outside picks up, howling through the trees. He tries to sleep but can't shake the nagging feeling that something isn't right. As he lies in the darkness, the wind suddenly stops. The silence that follows feels unnatural, like the world itself has stopped breathing. Oscar sits up in bed, straining to hear any sound. The woods are eerily still. Then, from outside the hut, he hears a faint scratching sound, soft at first, like something lightly dragging its nails along the wood. What the hell is that? It's just an animal. Probably a squirrel or something. I'll just ignore it. He lies back down, closing his eyes, but the scratching continues, growing louder. The sound is rhythmic, almost deliberate, as if something is trying to get his attention. His heart races, and he pulls the covers tighter around him. Suddenly, both radios on the desk crackle to life. The static is harsh, loud, and unnerving. Oscar jumps out of bed, rushing to turn the radios off. The air around him feels thick, charged with a strange energy. What the hell? What was that? No one should be out there. I'm the only one up here. God, I'm just being paranoid. This is nothing. Just the wind. Or the damn radio. I'll fix it tomorrow. He turns off the radios and sits in the dark for a moment, listening. The scratching stops, but the silence that follows feels oppressive. He tries to shake off the unease, but something in the air feels wrong. The escalation of strange events. Oscar lies awake for what feels like hours, staring at the ceiling. The occasional creak of the tower settles his nerves momentarily, but then the scratching starts again, louder and faster than before. It's coming from the base of the tower this time, right beneath his feet. His breath catches in his throat. It's not an animal. It's something else. I can feel it. The tower is creaking too much. The wind's not this strong. I can't ignore it anymore. Oscar sits up quickly, heart pounding. His eyes dart around the room, trying to find something, anything, to explain the noises. The scratching grows more frantic, and the radio crackles again, filling the room with a harsh, unnatural noise. Oscar jumps out of bed and rushes to the window, peering out into the darkness. This is ridiculous. This is just some freaky coincidence. It's nothing. But why does it feel like the world is closing in on me? Why does the silence feel so heavy? The scratching stops suddenly, followed by an eerie silence. Oscar stands frozen, unsure whether to move or stay put. His mind races with the strange rules he found earlier, but he brushes them aside. It's just nerves. He's been alone too long. Nothing's going on. Just as Oscar begins to calm down, the lights in the tower flicker, casting long shadows across the walls. The room grows colder, and he feels a shiver run down his spine. No. No, this can't be happening. I'm imagining it. I'm imagining it all. Introduction to the rules and growing unease. Oscar sits at the small wooden desk, his hand hovering over the handbook. The faint crackling sound from the radio is the only noise in the tower, the air feeling heavier with every passing second. He flips through the pages of the book once more, trying to distract himself from the growing unease he feels. But then, a piece of paper slips from between the pages, scrap paper, handwritten in blue ink. Oscar picks it up, his brow furrowing as he reads the list aloud to himself. Each rule grows more chilling as he continues. I thought they were just jokes at first, some sick prank by the last guy who worked here. But these didn't feel like jokes. If you see a woman with a manic smile in the woods, do not approach her or draw attention to yourself. Return to your tower immediately. If your radio goes off and it's anyone except your nearest tower, don't answer it. no matter what you hear. At night, always sleep with the light on. If it flickers, something is wrong. If you hear scratching sounds at any point, turn off all radios and hide under your covers until it stops. If you hear someone running up the stairs to your tower, turn on the main light immediately and wait until morning. Oscar sets the paper down slowly, a nervous laugh escaping his lips. He shakes his head, muttering under his breath. Yeah, sure. A woman with a smile, running up the stairs, this is ridiculous. He scoffs, trying to convince himself it's just superstition, but a chill runs down his spine. The wind outside howls louder, and the tower creaks ominously. Oscar glances around the room, feeling the weight of the silence pressing in. It's probably nothing. Just a freaky list. But why do I feel like someone's watching me? Oscar places the list back in the handbook and stands up, moving toward the window. He peers out into the vast darkness of the woods, his breath fogging up the glass. He tries to shake the feeling of unease, but it lingers, clinging to him like a second skin. First strange occurrences. Later that night, Oscar lies in bed, staring at the ceiling. The flickering light on the nightstand catches his attention, its soft pulse barely noticeable but unsettling nonetheless. He turns his head toward the window, trying to ignore the uneasy feeling in his gut. Then, a faint scratching sound echoes through the silence of the tower. Soft at first, it's almost like an animal trying to claw its way in. Oscar sits up in bed, his heart racing, eyes darting around the dark room. It's just an animal. It's just the wind. But that's not how it sounds. It's too deliberate. Oscar gets out of bed, walking cautiously toward the door. The scratching grows louder, now almost rhythmic, as if something, or someone, is trying to get his attention. He reaches for the radio and flicks it on, the static crackling to life. Oscar's eyes widen as the static intensifies. The scratching sound stops abruptly, replaced by the unsettling hum of the radio. I'm not sure what's going on, but it's not normal. This can't be just some animal. Something's out there. He quickly turns the radio off, glancing nervously around the room. The silence that follows is deafening, but it's not comforting, it's suffocating. He stands still for a long moment, unsure of what to do. Flickering lights and growing fear. Oscar sits back down on the bed, his hands trembling as he tries to calm himself. But then, just as he settles, the light above his bed flickers again, flickers harder this time, as if struggling to stay on. Oscar's eyes widen. He remembers the rule he read earlier. Rule 3. Always sleep with the light on. If it flickers, something is wrong. He jumps out of bed, rushing to the light switch. He flicks it back on, but the light continues to flicker, dimming and brightening in an erratic rhythm. No, no, no. Come on, come on. The light goes out completely, plunging the room into darkness. Oscar freezes, his breath caught in his throat. He grabs his flashlight and turns it on, the beam of light weak in the vastness of the dark room. Then, the scratching returns, louder and closer than before. Oscar's heart races as he tries to steady his hand, the flashlight shaking as he shines it around the room. He hears a soft thud from downstairs, the sound of footsteps ascending the tower stairs. No. No, no. This can't be real. It's just paranoia. It's just the isolation. It's not real. Oscar grabs the flashlight tighter, his chest heaving as the sound of footsteps grows louder, closer. He turns toward the stairs, his eyes wide with fear. Encounter with Allison and unsettling discoveries. The radio crackles to life, interrupting the silence of Oscar's second night in the tower. He grabs the receiver quickly, his heart still pounding from the strange events of the evening. He takes a deep breath, trying to calm himself. Oscar, grabbing the radio. Hello? Is anyone there? There's a pause, followed by a crackle, then a calm, reassuring voice. Allison, on radio. Hey there, Oscar. I'm Allison. I've been covering your sector while you were making your way up. Welcome to the tower. Oscar relaxes slightly, surprised by her calm tone. Oscar. Thanks. I'm still trying to get settled in. It's been a bit of a crazy start. Allison, on radio. Yeah, I hear that a lot. Don't worry, you'll get used to it. The first few days are always the hardest. Just make sure you follow the rules, and you should be fine. Oscar picks up the handwritten list of rules once again, glancing over them as he talks. Oscar. Yeah, about those rules. They're weird. Some of them, honestly, kind of freak me out. Allison. I know. They seem strange at first, but trust me, they're there for a reason. Some of the things that have happened out here, well, you wouldn't believe it unless you've seen it for yourself. Oscar. You've seen it? What kind of things? There's a pause on the radio. When Allison speaks again, her voice drops, as though she's about to reveal something important. Allison. Let's just say, you're not the first person to take this job. People have come and gone, and most of them end up the same way. Gone, or changed. Obsessed. Oscar. What do you mean by changed? Allison. The isolation gets to you. It's not just the silence. It's the woods themselves. They can mess with your mind. Some of the past lookouts have, well, let's just say they saw things. Terrifying things. The rules are there to protect you. Follow them, and you'll be fine. Oscar. Are you telling me people have gone missing? Allison. That's right. But it's not just that they vanish. Some of them, they don't leave. They get obsessed with the place, with the woods, and they can't let go. Oscar feels a chill run down his spine. He looks around the empty tower, the dark woods pressing against the windows. Oscar. And what happened to you? You seem, well, calm. Allison. You learn to deal with it, Oscar. The forest, it can drive you crazy if you let it. But if you follow the rules, if you keep your distance from the things it wants to show you, you might make it through. Oscar listens carefully, his unease growing as the words hang in the air. The hum of static fills the radio. Oscar. So, what's the deal with all the missing people? Why didn't they just leave? Allison. They couldn't. It's not as simple as just walking away. There's something about this tower, it's not just a job. There's a history here. A dark one. And some people, they can't escape once they've seen it. Oscar's heart skips a beat as he hears the words. He looks out into the woods through the window, the trees looming like silent sentinels. Oscar. History? What kind of history? Allison. It's not something you learn in the handbook. Trust me. I didn't believe it at first either. I thought I could handle it, that it was just stories. But then, well, you'll see. The tower itself holds secrets. You just have to be careful. Oscar. This sounds like some kind of joke. A prank, right? The static crackles again before Allison responds in a softer, more serious tone. Allison. I wish it were. But believe me, Oscar. The woods don't play jokes. Just keep your eyes open and your mind sharp. Follow the rules. That's all I can tell you. Oscar stares at the radio, his thoughts racing as he processes everything Allison has said. A sense of dread settles in his chest, and he feels the weight of the silence in the tower. Oscar. Okay, Allison. Thanks. I guess. I'll keep that in mind. Allison. You'll do fine. Just don't let the woods get to you. Remember, Don't listen to anything you don't have to, and always follow the rules. That's the only way to survive. The radio clicks off, leaving Oscar alone with his thoughts. He glances down at the list of rules again, the weight of Allison's words sinking in. He feels the hairs on the back of his neck stand up, and for the first time, he wonders if this job might be more dangerous than he imagined. The smiling lady and escalating fear. Oscar sits in the small hut, staring out into the pitch-black forest through the tower's windows. The wind howls through the trees, but there's something else, something more unsettling. He shivers, looking down at the rulebook, which he keeps within arm's reach. His fingers trace the words, the warnings. His mind races with doubt. Oscar, whispering to himself. The rules, they say it's coming. But is it real? The clock ticks softly. Suddenly, a sound breaks the silence, a distant cry. It's faint at first, almost a whisper on the wind, but as Oscar listens, it becomes louder. The cry, tortured and filled with pain, echoes through the woods, sending a chill down his spine. Oscar, tensely, under his breath. What the hell is that? Oscar stands up quickly, his chair scraping harshly against the wooden floor. He glances around the room, the shadows stretching in the dim light. He grabs the radio. Oscar, grabbing the radio, anxious. Allison, you there? There's a long silence before Allison's voice crackles back on the line, her tone strained. Allison, on radio, softly. Oscar? What's wrong? Oscar. I heard something. A woman crying. I can't tell where it's coming from, but it sounds like it's right outside. There's a pause before Allison speaks again, her voice cautious, almost resigned. Allison, on radio. Oscar, it's her. The smiling lady. Oscar freezes. His heart begins to race. He has heard the stories, but hearing it for himself feels different. He grips the radio tighter. Oscar. The smiling lady. I thought it was just a story. Allison, on radio, quietly. She's real, Oscar. You're not the first to hear her. She comes for everyone. At night, especially. Just, stay inside the tower. Don't go looking for her. Trust me, you don't want to see her. Oscar swallows hard, staring at the darkened window, his eyes darting around the shadows. Oscar, desperately. But what does she want? Why is she here? Allison, on radio, sighing. I don't know. Some say she was lost in the woods, others say she was a victim of something much worse. She feeds off fear. The more you give her, the stronger she becomes. Don't engage with her. It's the only way to survive. Oscar looks out the window again, the cry still lingering in the air. His thoughts race. Should he leave the tower? Should he investigate? He clenches his fists in frustration. I can't just sit here. The wind picks up, howling more intensely. Suddenly, Oscar's flashlight flickers. He rushes to turn it back on, but the light flickers again, growing weaker, and then, suddenly, it goes out completely. He hears a slight shuffle behind him. The door creaks open slowly, and Oscar spins around, his heart in his throat. Standing in the doorway is a figure. A woman. Her face is obscured by long, stringy hair. But it's the smile, the unnaturally wide, too wide smile, that freezes him in place. Oscar, voice shaking. Who are you? The woman steps forward, her movements jerky and unnatural. Her smile grows wider, as if it's trying to reach her ears. Oscar's breath hitches. His mind screams for him to run, but his body refuses to move. Smiling lady, in a creepy, whispering voice. You have to smile too. You have to smile for me. Oscar stumbles backward, bumping into the table. The woman takes another step, her eyes empty and hollow, fixed on him. He opens his mouth to scream, but nothing comes out. His heart pounds in his chest. This can't be real, it can't be happening. Suddenly, the woman lunges at him, moving faster than he can react. She grabs his arm, her fingers ice cold, and Oscar yelps in terror. "Smiling lady," in a deadly whisper. "Smile. Smile, or I'll make you smile." Oscar struggles against her, but she pulls him closer, her face looming in front of his. He feels his stomach churn as her cold breath hits his face. Her smile grows even wider, distorting her face. Oscar, screaming. "No! Get away from me!" In a burst of adrenaline, Oscar pushes her away, stumbling back toward the window. The woman, her smile unbroken, begins to laugh, low and guttural. Smiling lady, laughing. "You can't escape. You'll never escape." Oscar's heart pounds in his ears as he grabs the radio again, desperate. Oscar, into radio, panicked. "Allison. Please. I need help. She's here." But the radio only crackles in response, the static loud and deafening. Oscar turns to face the woman, but she's gone. The tower feels colder now, darker. His thoughts race, his mind struggling to understand what's happening. The rules he's been ignoring. She's hunting me. The silence feels suffocating. The only sound is the wind, howling through the trees outside. Oscar begins to hear the faint scratching noise again, on the wooden door of the tower, then the walls. The scratching grows louder, moving closer. No. No, no, no. The camera focuses on Oscar's trembling hand as he reaches for the rules on the table. His eyes dart over the page, until he sees the one line that chills him to the bone. If you hear any scratching at any point, hide under your covers, and don't breathe. Oscar's face goes pale. He glances toward the door again, hearing the scratching getting closer. He realizes there's only one thing left to do. I have to follow the rules, or I'll die. Oscar quickly grabs the flashlight, his hand shaking. He jumps under the covers, holding his breath as the scratching grows louder. He can feel the presence in the room with him. His heart is pounding so loudly that he can hardly hear anything else. The woman's laugh echoes in his mind, and he struggles to keep still. The scratching stops. For a moment, there's nothing. Just the sound of Oscar's shallow breathing. Then, a voice breaks through the silence, soft and chilling, like a whisper in the wind. Smiling lady, whispering, far away. I'm still here, Oscar. You can't hide from me. Oscar's struggle for survival. The camera opens on a tense, quiet moment. Oscar stands near the window, his breath shallow, his body trembling. His mind races as he stares out into the dense woods. The wind howls outside, but it's the eerie silence of the tower that chills him most. It's coming. I know it is. I can feel it. Oscar's fingers nervously touch the rules sheet he keeps beside him. He scans the list once more. Sleep with the light on. If you hear scratching, hide under your covers. If you see her through the window, hold your breath. Each rule feels more like a lifeline than ever before. He knows the entity, the smiling lady, is drawing nearer. His palms sweat as he grips the edge of the table, the light flickering dimly. I have to follow the rules. I have no choice. Suddenly, a soft creak breaks the silence. Oscar's eyes widen. He freezes. The floorboards, scratch, scratch. The unmistakable sound of something, someone, moving closer. His heart thumps loudly in his chest. Oscar glances toward the door, his body tensing. She's here. The scratching noise grows louder, closer. Oscar takes a deep breath and moves quickly toward the door. He reaches for the flashlight and flicks it on, casting a shaky beam around the room. He scans the shadows, hoping to catch a glimpse of her, but she's nowhere in sight. The door creaks again, this time more forcefully. Oscar's breath catches in his throat. He slowly turns toward the sound, his flashlight flickering. The dark figure emerges in the doorway. There she is, the smiling lady. Her hair is wild, her smile far too wide, and her eyes dark, hollow, and completely fixated on him. Smiling lady, in a low, creepy voice. Smile, Oscar. Smile for me. Oscar recoils, his mind screaming for him to run, but his body remains frozen. He clutches the rules sheet in his hand as he desperately tries to remember the instructions. The light. I need the light on. He races toward the light switch, but before he can reach it, the lady moves, her body jerking unnaturally, faster than he can react. She lunges forward, her smile stretching even wider as she gets closer. Smiling lady, hissing. You can't escape me. Oscar manages to slam the light on just in time, and with a shriek, the lady freezes, her smile faltering. The light burns through the darkness, illuminating the tower and halting her for a brief moment. But it's not enough. Her face contorts into an even more terrifying expression as she hisses and claws at the air. Smiling lady, screaming. You can't hide. You'll never escape me. Oscar's chest tightens with fear. His grip on the rules sheet becomes tighter as he fumbles with the pages. The rules. I have to follow the rules. The wind howls louder outside, shaking the tower. The air feels colder, as if the walls themselves are closing in. The lady's body twists and contorts, her arms snapping at unnatural angles as she lunges toward Oscar again. He backs away, his breathing ragged. I need to leave. I have to leave. But the tower door slams shut before he can reach it, trapping him inside. The rules flash through his mind. If you see her, hide under your covers and hold your breath. If you hear someone running up the stairs, turn on the main light. He takes one last glance at the smiling lady, who is now crouched low, her eyes wide with excitement, her teeth glinting in the harsh light. I have to survive. I can't die here. In a desperate move, Oscar bolts for the stairs, running as fast as he can. The lady's scream follows him as he climbs, her voice echoing in his ears. Smiling lady, screaming, raging. You can't outrun me, Oscar. You'll never escape me. Oscar reaches the top of the tower and slams the door shut behind him. He's breathless, trembling, and drenched in sweat. His heart beats wildly in his chest, but he knows he can't stop now. He grabs the radio, his hands shaking as he tries to turn it on. Allison. I need help, please. But there's no answer. Just static. He tries again, but the static continues to grow louder, filling his ears like a deafening roar. The lady is here, and she's getting closer. Smiling lady, louder, closer. You can't hide forever. Oscar turns, his face pale as he hears her footsteps on the stairs. He slams the radio off and looks around desperately for an escape. He can't think straight. The rules are failing him. There's no way out. Escape or doom. The tower is silent now, the only sound is Oscar's ragged breathing as he stares at the walls, the shadows closing in around him. He can feel her presence, just beyond the door. He's running out of time. I have to follow the rules. I have to escape. He looks around in panic, his eyes darting to the windows, to the door. He knows what he has to do, but he's not sure if he's strong enough to make it. The door rattles, and the scratchy sound echoes louder. Please, no. No. Oscar glances at the rules one last time. His finger runs down the page. The last rule, the one he hasn't followed yet. The one he thought would be his salvation. I have to leave. I have to get out. The door bursts open, and the smiling lady lunges toward him, her face twisted into an inhuman grin. Oscar runs as fast as he can, his legs burning from the strain, his breath coming in ragged gasps. Smiling lady, laughing. "You can't escape me, Oscar." Oscar races down the stairs, his hands outstretched, reaching for the door. He crashes into it, his body slamming against the wood. The door doesn't open. "No. Please." The door creaks open, just enough for Oscar to slip through. He stumbles outside, gasping for air as he runs through the woods, his heart racing. Smiling lady, in the distance, laughing. "You'll never be free. You can't run from me." Oscar's fate. The camera opens on the woods. A thick fog covers the ground, the air heavy with tension. The trees stand tall, their branches reaching out like skeletal hands. The wind howls, but no birds sing. The forest feels alive, but something darker lurks beneath its surface. Oscar stumbles through the woods, exhausted, his clothes torn and dirty from his frantic escape. He can barely see through the fog, but he pushes forward, driven by fear and desperation. His breaths are ragged, his body aching. Every sound in the forest feels amplified, branches creaking, leaves rustling. His heart pounds in his chest. I can't stop. I have to get out." His legs tremble with every step, but he forces himself onward. The forest seems endless, stretching on forever. His eyes dart nervously, scanning the fog and shadows for any sign of movement. The rules, those horrifying rules, flash through his mind. Suddenly, a whisper in the wind, faint at first, then clearer. It's the unmistakable sound of the smiling lady's laugh, her voice like cold, jagged nails scraping against glass. Oscar freezes, his body going stiff with fear. Smiling lady, whispering, eerily close. "You can never leave me, Oscar. You'll always be mine." Oscar's eyes widen, panic overtaking him. He looks around, his breath quickening. There's no sign of her, but the laughter is everywhere now, surrounding him, echoing through the trees. His heart races. He tries to run faster, but it's as if the forest itself is closing in on him, trapping him in its twisted embrace. No, I'm not going back. I won't." The fog thickens, and Oscar stumbles, falling to his knees. The ground feels cold and wet beneath him. He looks up, his gaze searching desperately for an escape. The trees loom above him, oppressive and ominous. He can't see anything beyond the thick mist. "Please, let me go." In the distance, a faint light flickers. Oscar stands shakily, squinting through the fog. The light seems to be coming from the tower. The tower, the place he's been running from. He takes a step forward, then another, his legs weak and unsteady. As he draws closer to the tower, the light grows brighter. It's almost blinding now, but it's a beacon of hope, maybe his escape is finally within reach. But as he reaches the base of the tower, he stops. His body trembles. The door to the tower is wide open, inviting him in. Oscar steps forward, unsure if he should enter. He hesitates, his hand shaking as it reaches out to touch the doorframe. The wind howls louder, and the trees seem to shift, moving closer. The laughter of the smiling lady grows louder, more frantic. Smiling lady, screaming, her voice growing louder. "You can't leave. You're mine." Oscar looks back into the forest, his eyes wide with terror. The trees seem to twist, the shadows growing darker, thicker. A shape moves in the fog, and Oscar can just make out the figure of the smiling lady. Her face is twisted into a grotesque smile, her eyes black and hollow. Oscar's body shakes violently. He can't move. His breath catches in his throat as he realizes that no matter where he goes, she will always find him. The rules, the terror, the isolation, it's all closing in on him. Ambiguity of survival. The camera zooms out slowly, showing Oscar standing at the base of the tower, his body trembling. The door swings open, creaking in the wind. The camera pulls back further, revealing the vast, eerie wood stretching out around him. The fog rolls in, swallowing up the tower, the trees, and Oscar. Oscar stands frozen, trapped in a cycle of fear. He doesn't know if the tower offers safety or if it's another trap set by the smiling lady. He doesn't know if he can ever escape. The question remains, is he truly free, or is he just running in circles? The camera lingers on the fog, the trees, the darkness that seems to consume everything in its path. The wind whispers, and in the distance, a faint sound, the smiling lady's laughter, echoes in the emptiness. Smiling lady, voice echoing. You can never leave me, Oscar.